Well, in October 2018, out of the numerous people nominated to be on the Pulpit Search Committee, people that you nominated, you elected 11 of them. And most of them can be here this morning, but I want to ask Ruling Elder Anthony Livoti, this is your cue, folks, march on up, to make an announcement, and he wants to know who has his back. So he's asking this elite group of soldiers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. January Fowler has a sick baby, and she herself is sick, so she could not be here, but I think this is most of your team. But why did you want my sermon time? What's going on? Tell me.
In Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24, Paul says this: "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." When our committee first met in November 2018, one of the first things we did was ask each member to come up with a scripture verse to guide our work. One of our members selected this verse from Colossians, and as I prepared to come before you this morning, I thought that verse was appropriate. As committee members, we all had expectations and preferences about this search. Who will the candidate be? Will he be from far away, from close by? However, we recognized early on that the Lord already knew the outcome of this pastor search. We prayed and committed not to be guided by our own personal preferences. As this verse from Colossians says, we sought to be faithful for working for the Lord and not for men. We also knew that all of you had your own personal thoughts and preferences on who the candidate should be. We decided as a committee that if we believe that the Lord is sovereign, he already knew the outcome of this pastor search. As a committee, we sought to be faithful to praying and seeking the Lord's will to identify the next man to succeed Pastor Crow. And as we updated you, we asked you all to pray likewise. After completing our pastor profile and church profile in early 2019, we cast the net searching for candidates. Working with our consultant, McGowan Search, we had candidates submit packages for our review. Our committee worked in teams to do a deep dive evaluation of each of the candidates that were brought to us. We reviewed their resumes, their ministry data forms, which included detailed information about their ministry work, skills, and preferences. Everyone listened to and watched hours upon hours of sermons of all of our candidates. All along the way, we continued to pray for the Lord's guidance and wisdom, for him to reveal to us his candidate. The Lord closed doors on some candidates, and he opened doors on other candidates. The work of our committee was diligent, thorough, and complete as we pondered and prayed over the candidates that were brought to us. The task of finding a man to follow a long-serving, founding senior pastor was not easy, nor was it for the faint of heart. But we trusted in the Lord for us to guide us and to give us that wisdom. We were seeking a man who was not just an outstanding preacher, but one with several years of varied, ordained pastor experience to provide the leadership necessary to transition Northeast Presbyterian Church into its next season after Pastor Crow's retirement. We were amazed and awed at the candidates that the Lord brought to us, and we continued to pray for the Lord to reveal to us his choice. The search that we embarked on took us to candidates with a variety of backgrounds and from a variety of places across the country. And as the calendar turned to 2020, the Lord led us to zero in on our finalists. We met, prayed, fasted. We prayed some more. We fasted again. We talked, and we prayed again. And then we prayed some more. The committee sensed the Lord leading us to our candidate this month, and he clearly ordained the unanimous selection that we came to. And when we came to that decision, we were overjoyed that the candidate was in our midst all along. As chairman of the Pastor Search Committee, I am pleased, honored, and humbled to recommend that this congregation extend a call to Pastor Josh Desch to be the next senior pastor of Northeast Presbyterian. Thank you for that. The committee wholeheartedly agrees that Pastor Desch has the pastoral and ministerial experience to lead this church into its next season. As the pastor of community and discipleship, he has grown discipleship and relationship here at NEPC. He spearheaded the creation of the men's discipleship program, helping men of this church grow in their walk with the Lord. He has helped the formation of 2 new Sunday school classes and helped develop ideas for creating community with the Savory Sunday gatherings. He and Betsy host a podcast called Intersect, where church meets culture. They have invested themselves in the life of our church and helping to grow community here at Northeast Presbyterian. In addition to his work here since coming to us in 2017, Josh also brings 6 years of experience from his work in a multi-generational, multi-ethnic church in New Jersey. This also will add to the work to which he is called. As we evaluated candidates, we saw that many men were seeking a new job. But as we met with Pastor Desch, we saw that he was seeking this job. And that helped confirm for us that the Lord was leading us to recommend Pastor Desch. As the chairman, I want to thank all of my members of this committee for their work. They gave up their time. They gave up their time over the last 15 months and dedicated themselves to this high calling. I also want to thank the families of all of our committee members. I know this was a tremendous sacrifice for you to give your family members to this task, and I want to thank you as well. Now, this process was long and it was challenging, but it was very rewarding. I can assure you that every member of our committee approached this task with a humility that none of us were worthy of this calling. We gave ourselves to this process and grew closer to each other, more closer than any of us thought we could ever imagine. As we sought your prayers, we also asked that you respect the confidentiality of the work that we were doing in considering and evaluating candidates. We cannot thank all of you enough for your prayers and support over these last 15 months. It truly has sustained us. Now that the work of our committee is completed, I just ask that you continue to honor the confidentiality of the work that we did and not ask our committee members about the details of the work in evaluating the candidates we looked at. I speak for each member of the committee when I say that all of us felt the enormity of the task we were called to and approached it in a diligent and thorough manner. And finally, let me challenge each and every one of you to join us in supporting our selection of Pastor Desch. We were all open to the leading of the Lord through this process, and we believe the Lord directed our path to leading us to Pastor Desch. Our prayer is that you will also see the Lord's hand in the work that we concluded and join us in praying for and supporting Pastor Desch in his new journey in leading this church into its next season of life. Thank you all very much, and thank you for your support. You gotta get off the